Shavua Tov, one Pasuk in Mishle for today, Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Chet. Even Chen, a precious stone, Hashochad Be'nei Ba'alav, is bribery in the eyes of the owner. El Kol Asher Yifnei Yaskil, wherever he turns, he will find wisdom. What it means here is that a precious stone would be bribery for a person, and he will always go with that stone. He will always go after the bribery. You give someone a bribe, and everything you say, they say, yeah, you're right, because they got the bribe. The Gaon of Vilna over here says that this Sefer, Mishle, from Shlomo Hamalch, is of course to teach us the good ways, to get us away from the bad. But he says there's a special force. We see this in the Torah as well, force of a bias. And if there's a bias, it could skew your vision, and you could go the opposite way, God forbid. And therefore he says that the opposite as well, that sometimes if we are in tzarot, give bribes to the enemies to get rid of our tzarot as well. And when you give bribes, the koach of a bribe is gets rid of also getting rid of the enemies. He says as well in a spiritual way. But before the spiritual way, so there's a story that they say that the great Rabbi Chaim Brisker in the city of Vilna, the city of Brisk, Lithuania, the story goes that many pogroms, Jews faced a lot of things over the years, and they would always bribe the head guy, the mayor, whoever it was that was running the show. And they decreed something very difficult on the Jews. And he said, this time I'm not accepting any bribes. We're going ahead with this, whatever. No Jews allowed to work, whatever the thing was. Rabbi Chaim called in the Jewish community. He says, give me money. We're going to bribe him. He said, what do you mean? He said, no bribes. Said, don't worry about it. He got the money, and he went to the person. It was the middle of August, and it was hot, and he went in dressed all in winter clothes. And he went to the mayor. And he said, Rabbi, what can I do for you? He said, you're here in winter clothes. Everything okay? He said, look, I had a dream that it's going to snow today, a blizzard, crazy blizzard today. It was the morning. He says, Rabbi, everything okay with you? He says, it's going to be very, very cold. He said, I'm willing to bet. The mayor says, well, you're willing to bet? He said, okay, I'll bet you. He said, how much? And, I'll bet you, he said, a big amount of money. So the mayor's like, this guy's crazy. I'm going to win the bet. This is crazy. So they made a bet that by the end of the day, there's going to be a blizzard. That day, there was no blizzard, there was nothing. The next day, the rabbi came and said, I'm sorry, you're right. I guess my dream was off. You won the bet. And he came and he paid him. He went back to the Jewish community and said, don't worry. He got the money, everything's going to be okay. And that's what happened. The bribe was in his hands, and everything was gone. And so too, the Gaon of Vilna says that there's a bribe in Ruchniyut as well. First of all, he says in a spiritual way, that's in a hidden way. There's Soda Sa'ira Mishtalech and Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, we could do the Sela Azazel. We have to, in a certain way, give, that's what Maimah Haronim, we give to the bad side to calm them down. But also, this is the sort of Lo Lishma Ba Lishma. When a person does something, meaning he's not at the level of doing it fully L'Shem Hashem, so he does something, let's say, you bribe a kid, here, stay at the Pesach Seder, here's some candy, I'm going to buy you something if you learn, if you this. So they're not at the level of doing it on their own, so they take the bribe. So sometimes, you need the bribe in Kedusha as well. Okay, so I know if I'm going to hit these hurdles, I'll take a break, I'll bribe myself, I'll go on a vacation, whatever. But if I hit these spiritual hurdles, if I finish Shas, I'll go on a vacation. If I do this, I'll go to a restaurant. You do little spiritual shochat for yourself to push you further in the spiritual way, which is a good thing. Shelo lishma, ba lishma, then you'll eventually get to the level of full lishma. So be aware of the evil of biases and briberies, but also to try to use it to our advantage. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen. V'Chananya, Barak Hashem Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et tzloficha chiva lehem tolam so shene'emar Adonai chavetz man tzidko yagdil Torah ve'yadir.